Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Swift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial. We are here
There's a
with
spider. Sorry.
140, number 144. Anna comes in for her first TTT with the spider wave
Whew.
across the screen. Myself, Nathan Guerra here, Anna Russell next to me. Dave is on the road again, which is good to see. And looks like they're going to be having an awesome, I think it's the Mash It Up series that they're doing with some live Zwift events. Super exciting for
Oh,
that. But we're on Makuri Islands with the Wandering Flats. My question is, have we done this course before? Taking a look through here, and I'm getting a feeling that this is the first time through because there is no course record for the Vienna Espresso. As I believe some of the Vienna Espresso haven't had any women go through the course yet. So these are going to be all new
oh,
course records, so people can set world records on the day to day. We'll see who does so.
oh, that's fantastic. You got to love a course record day. And this course, I was just telling you before we went live, Nathan, I love these courses that go from the sort of the Makuri Islands, nice cherry blossoms, really relaxed kind of vibe, into the city, crazy, like pumping lights, everything. It just looks cool. I think it's, from what we've seen with the times, it's going to be a super, super fast course. So this will be good to see these course records coming out. And I'm always excited in the TTT to just see the team fashion cohesion as well. I like seeing the ones that go full match, full send, aero helmet. So I'm looking forward to it. My first time commentating one of these, so it'll be great.
So isn't that have something to do also with like this? Didn't you have some sort of like Zwift party the other night? Was that the inspiration? It sounded like hanging out in Neokyo and you like made your Zwift room like Neokyo and like sounded like you were having your own like rave party. For a moment there, I was like, are you switching teams with the way you were talking about it?
I mean, I love Team Rave, but no, I am. I feel like that was just for before the broadcast. This is going to out me as a total geek who doesn't in real life party, just parties in my suffer room with my Zwift game on. So, yeah, I'm a bit of a Zwift geek, I guess.
Yeah, I think I can relate. We can relate. That's for sure. Taking a look here real quickly. On the left-hand side of the screen, it'll be the open race for the Platinum League, men and women, hammering away in each one of the Calfee classes. And then we've got 25 minutes to the start of the Vienna Platinum League, as you can see on the right-hand side, as the avatars start to populate. Go ahead and jump in, though. We're in with the lattes to begin with. And we will be in with, I believe this is going to be the cycling power team as they make their way around. Now, this is a really cool course because it is Makuri Islands. As you did say, though, they hang out a lot in the both Neokyo as well as the farmlands and some of those temple sections of the Makuri Islands. So you get to see a little bit of everything. I think that's why they do call it the Wandering Flats.
Yeah, you kind of do. It's a really good ride if you've sort of just got an easy zone 2 day and just want to, as it says in the title, sort of wander around Zwift. It is really nice. You kind of hit the city area. It's all relatively flat. There's a little sort of climb near the end, but nothing too crazy. Go through 3 sprint segments. So it could also be a really good sort of day where you just go practice your sprints as well. So yeah, I really like it. And this team, kind of liking what I'm seeing here as well. They've got a little bit of a hodgepodge mix of colors there, but yeah, we've seen some pretty experienced Swifters here too. Nud Hegland there. This is his 33rd time out in the WTRL TTT. So he knows what he's doing. He's probably taking leadership there. A couple of entry-level Zwift bikes. So it looks like they're bringing some new Zwifters along for the ride.
Yeah, that would be one of my questions here. L. Anderson, it looks like, I believe that's going to be Lars Stendal Anderson here on for his 4th TTT today. Klaus Rasmussen, this is going to be his first, actually. It'll be Klaus right here. And as you can see, as you did say, Anna, hanging out on the entry-level bike. We always like to give a little bit of shout-out, though, to the newer Zwifters that are jumping into the TTT and welcome them. And a big shout-out also to the leadership on the teams that are recruiting for the TTT. And it's always interesting to, like, get an idea of how it's going for them. Right, because like, I mean, you were talking about Wandering Flats, kind of be like a nice little stroll. I'm thinking about these team time trial guys though and gals that are like, yeah, this is not a stroll right now. I am absolutely suffering beyond anything I've ever done before. A lot of times I've heard from people saying the team time trial is one of the things that pushes them the most out of all the things they do in Zwift racing.
Yeah, I mean, I've de-essed these for a long time now. I can't say that they're my, I like racing them. I prefer de-essing them, to be honest. It kind of gives me a bit of PTSD from my time trial days being a triathlete. So I like to err away from that as much as possible. But it's, it's a different kind of a beast when you're racing for a team, I think. You just push so hard because you don't want to get dropped off the back and, impact your team result. The worst situation I think you can be in is if you're that last rider who has to cross the line. So you're the rider who counts the time. And if you're struggling, that is a long, long day in the saddle. It is a very, very hard race for that person. It's really hard to de-ess them in that situation because you've got to kind of slow everyone else down a bit. They feel terrible. They're also suffering like a dog. So yeah, there's a lot of different dynamics of the team, but I can see why people think this is probably the hardest they can go because it's, team dynamic. You don't want to let them down.
Taking a quick look at the current course records, these will all have been set today. And no course record obviously yet for the Vienna Espresso. Nobody's gone through yet. We will see those in just a little bit. Most likely coming in from some of these zones, maybe right before this, or else from the Platinum League and just starting in a little over 20 minutes. But it is going to be, it looks like Zed Sun Burson with a 29:34 so far is the fast time in Vienna Frappe. The lattes, NZ Bro Pie sandwiches.
Oh,
do you have anything to do with these names, or is there a little chat somewhere that talks about these team names with NZ Bro? Because they always have some of the most creative ones, Anna.
So I'm actually, I have nothing to do with their names, but I get where their names are coming from. They're always very Kiwi. So pie sandwiches is a bit of a delicacy here. But also I kind of creep into their Discord and I actually had to turn off notifications for just the NZ Bro Discord because I would look, it had been 5 minutes and there's about 250 new notifications. So if there's an most active team on Zwift, I would almost say NZ Bro could take that. There is so much chat. I love it. I mean, in the Zwift Racing League, they've all got Lord of the Rings kind of names. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what they've got going on in the TTTs because I know that from the chat, this is probably one of their favorite formats. They love getting out here and just smashing a team time trial.
Taking a look then also at the Vienna. It's going to be Team BPCLBL there with a 42.56. Dopios with Evo Warriors. I think they went in zone 1 early this morning. 31.49. Eat Dirt. It's got a 32 minute. These are fast times, over 25 kilometers actually in the Espressos there and the Dopios. 30 Rascals Raptors, Eat Dirt 2, and Eat Dirt Trial. It's going to be a lot of dirt teams so far. I think they're going to get unseated from Platinum League. We'll have to wait and see, though. That's the current course records that have been set today for 25.9 kilometers in total. Jumping on in with AVC. We're not going to have any times just as of yet up on board, but they will be coming through momentarily as they will come in at that 8 kilometer mark, 14 kilometer mark, and 20 kilometer mark. You can see the start order. Cycling Power, the ones that we were just looking at, Kamikaze team there, the first one to jump out there. It's going to be Alpentraudler Latte. I believe that's is that who we're actually looking at here from AVC. Followed up by the KC team, KKZD, and then it's going to be Kirchmer Latte behind them. WLBB also out on course here. Art Isotopes. And interesting, I think we got some newer teams out here that I've never seen before, but great to see AVC here. The German team, lots of German flags on the right-hand side in this latte right now.
And we do have a whole spreadsheet, which I love my spreadsheets, on that Down and Dirty Phantoms team, which you can see sitting there in 11th place after that first split. So when we get eyes on them, I can give you a rundown very in-depth of every rider on that team. So thanks for the Dirt team for sending that through. That's always good to get a bit of inside information behind the avatars who are out there. And some entertaining info that I probably won't share all of, but we've got some good fun facts there as well. I love it. Love a fun fact.
Definitely always great to have the information shared across. Looking, I believe, is this going to be then that Alpentrotter? I'm double checking here real quickly. Yes, Denny Dressler. Yeah, this is going to be Alpentrotter Latte 1 here. Krista Tama, Denny Dressler, Joshua Graff there, Michael Schubel. It's going to be Michael Willer, Tom Putz, and then Udo Moeller. And Now, YPS Wolf. Yips Wolf. Am I saying that right? Perhaps. As the German rider at the back here, hammering away currently 170. This is what I'm talking about. This has got to be full on threshold effort, just hanging on at this point. Looks like Krista Tom here now getting back on terms as well as she goes to the back of the pack. Any, you say you DS these a lot, Anna. This is something from your experience. I'm just wondering if anything has changed in your experience, because I have some opinions.
Yeah.
Because I've raced a few since the 3.0, but I'd like to hear your opinion about what has changed and how perhaps the TTT is run now compared to Pack Dynamics 2.0 that everybody was used to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so interested to hear your thoughts because I have not seen a TTT with this number of riders for a while. So even just so I DS the Saracen Opens Premier League TTT, but also the Community Division TTT. And there's 6 riders in Community, 5 in Prem. Even just that one rider difference makes a difference to the structure of how you sort of look at this. So with 8 riders that you can have in this race, again, it'll differ a lot. So you're not really seeing any more that straight line formation. Perhaps in Prem League on a flat course, perhaps because you only have 5 riders, it's a bit easier to keep it under control. But with the new 3.0, I do think the hybrid structure is sort of the best option when you have 2 riders out the front riding in, an order in line, and then everyone else bunched in behind, just sitting in that draft effort. I think with the 3.0, trying to keep everyone in a straight line formation, it's really hard because the rider in front is the one who ends up getting bumped out to the side, not the rider at the back. So if you're coming a little bit quick, you bump out the rider in front, they lose the draft, you kind of move up, and it's really hard to stay in any kind of an order. That's been my observation. Also, the thing I do like is the age-old sink and sprint strategy with Draft 2.0. You don't need to do as much, which is great because that was really hard. You sort of have your threshold effort off the front, then you'd sink down to almost 0 watts so that no one's stuck to your draft. Then you'd get to the back and have to sprint like crazy to get back on. That definitely not as big of a deal. It's sort of a bit more smooth is what I think. But Nathan, what are your thoughts on it?
I'd agree with the sink and sprint situation that it is smoother. You can kind of predict how they're coming through and by you a little bit better. You can allow avatars to come by you a little bit easier. It seems like if you back off to the correct watts. I would come back and say the riders that are being DS'd that do not hold a straight line in this new pack dynamics are just not good with their input method. I would say that what those riders are doing then are just putting up with the reality of having to hold the same wattage as the riders that are next to them or fight them for a position. Because if we're looking at Jurgen here, if we look at it live right now, Jurgen has to fight. Now, Thomas just showed us 4.2 to go up from him, and Jurgen is now fighting for position with Hana. Now, I may be wrong about this, though, because in a live situation like this, perhaps Jurgen is drafting on Friedrich on the left, and Friedrich is drafting on, and then Thomas is drafting on Frank on the right, perhaps. If you can go side by side and not fight for wheels, then I would say, they can just hang out on the 2 people in the front. If that's going to take even more precision then, though, in we're right next to each other. Are we actually not fighting for the wheel in front of us? Because those other 2 that are in front of you, they're also going to have to be holding their position and not fighting each other to go forward or backwards. So with the way that the avatars budge each other now, this formation right here, I would think would reserve the most energy. Now, if you just don't want to try and if a team gets to a point where it gets messed up though so often that it's just easier to just be let's just bunch it up, then I would say, but perfectionist in me says you're wasting a lot of energy being next to avatars because you're always going to be kind of fighting for that position over and over and over and over and over again rather than just sitting in a draft. But you're right, though. That kind of I would, in my esports background, I would compare it so much to the kind of precision that a mouse and keyboard player does when they're just clicking heads in a first person shooter. Like it needs to be really, really exact. I would agree with that. And it's kind of hard depending on your input method with some smart trainers or I don't know, like just being able to have my experience is that kind of precision with your legs and producing power, it takes a lot of experience to feather that well. And I'm not sure that a lot of Zwifters have that, honestly.
No. And you make a good point there with setup as well. So, like I've been working on the feathering. So I've been working on feathering through and staying in a draft in groups. I've been doing that a lot. One ride a week is just purely focused on getting the best draft dynamics. So trying to finish the race in the best position with the lowest watts. But it made me realize that my Ant Plus setup had a 3-second delay on not only my power coming through, but feeling the climbs. So I would be on a climb. But I wouldn't feel it till after. It was massive. I didn't realize that it was so big until I started doing this. And I was like, oh, whoa, this is terrible. So I switched to Bluetooth, no delay, and it's been life-changing. Amazing. Like actually staying...
Literally
life-changing. Life-changing. I can't underestimate the impact it has had on my life. But it's, it's great. So you kind of... There's a lot to look at with these groups. I know with a Prem team, if you look at someone, say, like Heino, or even Sarah Snowpins, the men's team, they have been riding in that same group for 2 years now. They can do a straight line formation because they know each other so well. They can do that. I think if you've got any new riders in there, the biggest issue new riders have is they freak out that they're going to lose a wheel. So what they do then is they're very kind of twitchy to any wheel in front moving away. So they'll surge a bit of power and then suddenly they've pushed that rider in front out of the way. So then they drop and then they drop a rider back with them and then they surge. So it really kind of depends on the experience in the group too. If you've got a newbie, I think it's almost impossible to do a straight line formation.
Yeah. I mean, even guys I ride with that have been around the TTT for years, they just have a bad day some days, or their trainer, like you're saying, has that leg and they're trying not to have that happen, and they just push right on through, and next thing you know, it's like everything is all over the board. It's like, and so there is definitely that argy-bargy amongst the team sometimes. So it's a good point, depending on experience level. Last word on that, I still think the most efficient is, like you were saying, those who are super experienced, straight line, but you can end up wasting a ton of energy trying to get there. So you got to find that balance between the two. Looking here, it looks like the fast. Now we'll go off of. I'll go ahead and change this board up for a second. Go off the 8 kilometer mark, and it does look like currently Woolly Rhinos haven't come through as well as the KKZD, but it does look like Vikings Valhalla currently have a 10:34. Actually our featured team Down and Dirty Phantoms a 10:39 at the 8 kilometer mark, so they're battling it out for the first place. 10:44 WLBB Latte, so that's gonna be your top 3 so far. We can see if we can find those Phantoms out on course and do a little bit of a highlight on what this second fastest team so far is.
I might do a pre-read of all of these fun facts and see which ones I can actually share. There we go. Okay, who are we on? Ryan. Let's have a look. Ryan here. Ryan Bate. Oh, his is really boring. Nothing comes to mind as his fun fact. But he is a high school. Yeah, the fun fact is nothing comes to mind.
This is not a very fun rider, Ryan. I'm not sure what's happening.
No, come on, Ryan. But he is a high school mathematics teacher. That's about the only thing I've got here. Longest in real life ride is 120K, and he writes, "That's not very impressive, is it?" LOL. So I think we've got a mathematical
mind of Ryan Bate coming on through. He started riding in May of 2020, and he got hooked riding summers outdoors and used Zwift during the winters. Here in Saskatchewan, winters are long. Well, yeah.
Oh,
that's like frozen tundra is where this guy is hanging out. So coming out of Canada here, it looks like Ryan Bates, and he's got his own whiteboard. He's doing equations right now. As he's on the bike. He's doing equations right now, figuring out whether or not we were right in our discrepancies there between, because he's currently doing what you said, Anna. He's listening to you.
I know. It's I like that. I just saw a really interesting one. A couple here I want to count on. One is Tim Elliott. So he's in this crew and he released a record when he was younger and performed on 2 TV shows. But the
What?
record sold, yeah, the record sold less copies than members of my family, so it was pretty bad. Um,
But they
and
put
he's
him on
completed
TV.
yeah, there we go. Completed a Royal Marines Commando course to earn a Green Beret. Wow. If someone can get in the Hurt Locker, it is a Green Beret. That is unreal. The training to do that, insane. So probably why he's sitting out on the front at the moment.
Got a little bit of an arrow power up. Interesting
Oh,
enough. Where
second.
are these coming from? These aren't supposed to be in the. That's interesting. I wonder if only platinum or he snuck a power up into the game. It looks like here. That's his Green Beret. That's his Green Beret
Yep.
tactics here coming on through. It also says he got a dodgy tattoo to celebrate being the completing that. So maybe, well, I don't know if we're gonna get any Instagram tags here, but exactly what is this tattoo? Maybe the location won't help us out. Okay, type of racer experience though from Tim Elliott here. Summer only on road, winter on Zwift, enjoying enduring ZRL in Oceania Zone 1. Minimal cycling expertise, bags of enthusiasm. Swam 10-mile lengths of Windmere, England's biggest lake. Rode twice at Henley Royal Regatta.
Oh, wow.
2 Ironman races as well. So that's his in real life experience. That's some pretty serious stuff.
Wow, that's a long swim. That's 16 kilometers. That is an extremely long swim.
I
That's
wouldn't
some
even know. It
endurance.
like literally meant nothing to me. Like I'm so
Oh,
thank you, Anna
that's
for
yeah.
helping me there.
That's going to take hours. Crazy. Wow. I don't know why you would do that, but good on him for giving it a go. I mean, it's
Why you would do that? Well, he's doing Ironmans too, so I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
oh,
you're only doing like 2.5, right?
yeah, exactly. 10 miles. Wow, that's I would actually want to know if someone's swimming that long, how's he going to get any food in? Because have you ever watched the open water Olympic swim race?
No. Well,
Okay.
I've seen it for a moment, and then I went to like some other sport because I mean, triathlons are so
So,
exciting.
oh,
I'm just messing with you.
the open water swim race at the Olympics is pretty, like, the most exciting thing is they swim through a feed zone, and above the feed zone are all these like banging things, and they swim, smack their arm against this board above them, and all their food drops down, and they have like a bit of food and then keep swimming.
What? This is like a
Yeah.
thing? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's an open
How
water
long
Olympic
is
swim
the
race. It's
swim?
pretty exciting.
How long is the swim?
Well, it's 10K, so they must just get gels or something. Like, it's not
Yeah, okay.
crazy
Yeah,
long.
okay. Gotcha.
The Olympics is pretty, like, the most
Oh,
exciting.
interesting. Here's Anna a second time there coming on through. All right, let's see what else is
There we
happening
go.
here. So Tim also, it sounds like a big shout out to his family as well. He wants Charlotte, his family, a family doctor that he's married to. Wow.
It's handy.
Bought Tim a watt bike for his 40th birthday to get him in shape. It sounds like,
Oh,
no, just kidding. The
yes.
so-called, I added that. I added the extra part there. It sounds like he was definitely an athlete prior to the watt bike showing up. So great on Tim. I love these features are amazing. Getting to know these teams and Dirt being around for so long. Have we looked at how much experience this team actually has? That's also going to be interesting alongside of some of this information.
Oof.
Dale Williams,
Kieran.
this is his second.
Oh.
This is only his second. Ryan, the math teacher, is literally his sixth TTT here. So, but the rest of the team are like in the double digits for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Sprangler there. This is his 70th coming in. So, yeah, there's a lot of experience on this team. I do want to give a shout out to Dirt because when I was very early on to Zwift, I got in touch with the Dirt guy actually and said, do we have a Mums Inside on Trainers crew? And he was like, yeah, we've kind of got one. And then I started my own little group called Badass Mums. And while we were doing that, we were chatting. And then he ended up sending to New Zealand from America a whole bunch of stickers, like Dirt stickers and a little handwritten card that said, hey, thanks for the support. So awesome team, like just very, very friendly. My husband's a part of it. He hasn't Swifted for a long time, but he is on the dirt team. So yeah, shout out. They're super nice from my own personal experience.
Classic mountain biker, I'm thinking, is what's going on there. Not jumping on the Swift in a while, but Andy here, as you were talking about, Andrew Spranger, he's 70. This is going to be his 70th PTT. Great to see here. Summer only on road, and the rest of his time is spent on Zwift. Longest online ride is 176 kilometers, full London PRL. Never again, he says. I think I did the London PRL, I believe, in a KISS 100 race, actually.
That's all right.
Yeah, that was they just extended it. That was a very, very difficult day, that's for sure. I'm with you, Andrew. I'm not sure I ever want to do that again. Andrew's married to Helen, daughter of 23 years old, son 5 years old, who enjoys interpreting his Zwift ride. Interrupting, not interpreting. Well, maybe interpreting.
Interpreting.
Interrupting his Zwift rides. A lot of swimmers on this team. Interesting.
It is. Yeah, I just saw that.
Swimming champion in younger years. Interesting enough.
So I think swimming, it's kind of a little bit of a symbiotic relationship. So Zwifting obviously gets you really fit, which helps with swimming. But then swimming gets your breathing really good, which kind of helps with the VO2 efforts in Zwift, in my opinion. So it's a nice sort of kind of symbiotic relationship. So I'm not surprised that there's a few swimmers who are good Zwifters. They work well together. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't think you could sort of be a great swimmer and then just come straight on and be good at Zwifting. You have to kind of get the two leveling up together.
Shoulders, you get these big shoulders. You got to get a little heavier from that in places that don't exactly help you push power in the legs. So but definitely lungs on a bike, as our colleague Katie Bates would say. Lungs on a bike.
Oh, nice. So talking about the PRL,
real quick. Power-ups are on today, just so everybody knows. And it's testing for ZRL specifically, I'm being told by Martin, and that there's been some really great feedback so far. So we'll see how that goes. I've always wondered, we've seen it once or twice in the past, and I think it was mixed. Now I'm wondering if maybe people's opinions are maybe a little bit different, or it'll be interesting, if people can use these power-ups well throughout the TTT, and a little bit of an RNG factor being thrown in there.
I kind of like it. I think I know sometimes they've been there by accident, and I've always said to the team, like, if they're not meant to be there, don't use them. But if they're meant to be there, I think it's a cool little addition. You've got, at the moment, they're going up a little sort of 3%. You could have someone with a feather just go off the front and help pace set the team. And then same if someone's really struggling, they could just drop the draft power up, let them get back on, or use the draft to kind of speed up the group a little bit. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it just adds a little, extra dynamic.
You were saying the PRL?
Yes. It was a question to you, Nathan. Have you done all the route badges?
For some reason, me and Makuri just haven't. I just haven't been motivated for some reason. No, I love Makuri Islands. Actually, I just was like, okay, I'll get them eventually, and didn't because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna go get my badges quick. Usually I think the reason being is that I just haven't been in super training mode, and so a lot of times I'll get into workout mode, and it's a day where I have 3 or 5 hours on the docket, and I'll just hit a bunch of badges, and so I just haven't had those big base miles yet. So I'm gonna go grab them probably over this next. I'm pushing my base training to the end of this month, or even starting in February this year, and kind of changing it up a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go get all those. But why do you ask?
I was just curious. I don't, it's always good to know if someone's a real route badge hunter, as soon as they're released in an update, you're on there getting them done. Yeah.
I used to be a little bit, keeping track of all of the different, because it's well, what are you all going to chase? Because you could chase every kit and every route badge and and I just couldn't keep up anymore, I think. I've got enough Swift things happening, so route badges, I'll get them eventually. So.
I think, that's a nice thing about route badges, but it is still pretty motivating for myself. And then I like you said, you kind of go for everything. I've just seen they've released a Wahoo climbing thing. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go do all of that. I'm like, actually, I don't have enough hours in the week to be going for every single performance grab I can in Zwift.
Luke Gerber, let's go ahead and move through the rest of our team here. Again, a huge appreciation for All the info provided here. Luke on the Phantoms here says, "Summer, I will ride on the road and race on Zwift. Started Zwifting a year ago, beats the Spinnerville's DVDs and keeps him in shape. Truly enjoys riding centuries. Wow, so this is like an endurance athlete. Used to run ultra marathons, but injured my knee,
Oh, yeah.
and now mostly bike, but started running. He owns a restaurant, 2 daughters, one 15, the other 12, teaching oldest how to become a baker. Neither kid likes to ride or run. Well, that might change. 15 and 12, we'll see what ends up happening. Watching a parent usually, it might kick in later in life. We'll see. Grew up in Asia and went to college in Paris. Now living in the States, watched a
Wow.
lot of travel. Became a citizen in
Yeah.
2015. Welcome to the Americas, USA. And love life and enjoy being outdoors more than in. Well, he's definitely inside hammering right now. It looks like at 297 watts. Got to enjoy it a little bit with some Type 2 fun.
This is I did want to touch on the ultra marathon runners as well. We're talking about swim crossovers. Ultra marathon runners also seem to cross over well to Zwift, but I don't understand why. Because from doing like some long races myself, nothing too crazy, not like 100K, you just I feel like you lose a lot of power because you end up getting very light because you're running all the time, but your strength is just so endurance and on one plane of motion. You're not good at those peaks, really high peaks you need in Zwift, and then the really sort of ease off and then peak and then ease off and then peak. I don't think that crosses over well, but maybe for something like a TTT where it's just, sit at a power and go, you could be all right. But yeah, it tends to work, but I can't really see the science behind why it does.
Yeah, and my take on a lot of that when it comes to running crossover, I tried crossovering a little bit to running. If you're pure cyclist, right? If you're a triathlete, you're already kind of like building both of them, but it's kind of a trying to master all trades kind of a situation. You're not going to get everything out of one, right? And so some of these top end triathletes really impress me with where they're going with their run versus their bike. But you always see that where somebody is either really good with the bike, but they're not the best at the run, or they're really good at the run, but they're not the best at the bike. Because I do think they fight each other because running is more of an aerobic and impact endurance sport, whereas the bicycle is much more of a pure muscular power sport. There's a lot more,
Yeah.
Power muscle involved there, and just weight in the muscle that's involved there. And so you end up beating that up, especially in ultra running. You're going to end up breaking down a lot of what is needed in muscle in order to produce power on the bike. So I would think that would be the reason why the crossover doesn't come quite as well. Coach Nathan coming out there for a second rather than
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Give some tips. I did actually see a comment come in from Pete Monk Murray saying he thinks that the power-ups, if they're given, shouldn't be random. So they should be delivered so each team gets the same divvy up of power-ups, which is kind of an interesting thought. So maybe, if it's a team of 6, you've got 2 who get nothing, 1 gets a feather, 1 gets a truck, 1 gets an arrow. I don't even know if that's possible, but I like that idea of thinking that it's even and then it's up to where the team drops them. That is the strategic part.
Yeah, that's a great call out. Actually, it is a great call out that each the power ups would be similar like that. Looking through here, there's going to be Paul R. Our next one that we're going to highlight here with Paul Robertson, the commuter cyclist and odd sportif, discovered Zwift just before COVID. Wow, these are some newer Zwifters here. I mean, that newer for me. I mean, that's over a year and a half ago now. But
Yeah, we've been on this a while.
2020, right? Convenience, technology, fitness, and competitive instincts was the perfect mix to get them hooked. Isn't that kind of the common story? Is like people start doing it and they're kind of like, "What is that? Okay, whatever." And then they get on and they're like, "Oh, this is actually pretty cool." So great to see that coming from Paul Robertson. Cycled up England's steepest road, Rosedale Chimney Bank, without stopping. I think I've seen videos of that actually. That's an insane climb. Nice on him without stopping. That's kind of like one of the accomplishments in cycling that you can do. I think actually.
Okay. Sounds horrible.
I would probably I don't know I wonder if he's got knees still though. How is his knees after that? It says he's happily married to Jenny of 21 years, children Kate 11, Matthew 8. Both kids are keen cyclists and ride on Zwift. Both wow, that's awesome. 11 and
Yeah.
8 and riding on Zwift. Great to hear. Both very competitive. Katie has podiumed at national U12 races and enjoys road, closed circuit, and track racing. I have to keep my train up to make sure I can stay ahead of them. Although the gap is closing, well, that's all about what it's all about, leaving that legacy that they're going to carry on. Absolutely loving that, Paul. Welsh junior table tennis champion back in the day. Would have never thought that with that whole description.
No. I don't know how table tennis crosses over to Zwift, but that is a cool little fun fact. I like
wonder
that.
if he like can. I wonder if his aim on the feathering. I mean, he's probably on board with me when it comes to pack dynamics. There we go, Paul. I'm just going to call that out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's the thing I like is you know, you touched on it a bit there, Nathan, is what makes someone addicted to Zwift, because it's you come on. I mean, my husband started Zwifting way back, sort of Jarvis days, and he told me about it. I was like, yeah, okay. But then when I got into it myself, I mean, I think I'd be a gamer if I allowed myself to actually game. And so the like gamification of it, plus like all the little competitive nuggets, there's a certain type of personality that this just draws in, and they just go and go and go, and they just love it. And I think he's got it good there. You know, the sort of mix of competitive instinct is convenient. They like technology. Yeah, that'll get you hooked.
And it's going to be Dan here now. One of the other featured riders that we're doing here today, Kieran Daniel. K-Dan on the Phantoms. Diesel Daniels is what he's called himself as his expertise. Considering my FTP, my sprint is staggeringly poor. Riding ZRL with down and dirty team with the rest of the C's here. Currently sat top with back-to-back 300-point weeks. Nice job to the Diesel Daniel and the rest of that Phantom team. What is it? What is going on here? Complete joggle. I don't know what John O'Groat to Land's End last year. What? Oh, he completed it. Okay, John.
Yeah,
O'Groat
must be a
to
thing.
Land's End. It's a thing. And yeah, because it's 1,000 miles. It's obviously a thing in 10 days, as well as London Ultra, 158 miles. That's a serious. As he is off the back here for a moment. Actually, no, they're just finishing up. So as they do finish up, it's going to be the Vikings and then the Rhinos that are chasing them down. We'll get through some results here as we're really diving in with this down and dirty Phantoms. The women are out on course as well. The Rhinos chasing down the Vikings. That's usually the main ones that are battling, as they were the last ones to go. Kieran Daniel also married to Catherine and daughter Robin Ray, who is 3 in May. That's awesome to hear. His fun fact, though, County Junior, another table tennis champion. What?
Oh, what?
Didn't know that Paul used to play? He didn't even know that Paul used to play. What is going on? My gosh,
wow.
A match coming on. Play guitar far better than I ride a bike, it sounds like. Well, we're going to have to get some riffs then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here. Send them our way.
Can I just say a little bit about the joggle that he's done? So, the John O'Groat to Land's End. It is a 17-day adventure run, traveling 860 miles, covering the length of the UK. It says it's an incredibly demanding and challenging race, and not for the faint-hearted, but if you do it, you'll create memories that last a lifetime. Maybe injuries as well, but it looks amazing. That is, I'm just looking at some of the pictures. I'm sort of thinking, oh, that could be a little bucket list event. I like it.
That sounds amazing. Really, really cool, Kieran Daniel. Thanks a lot for sharing that. And really cool to see. Dale Williams, last one on the list, I believe here. Runner and swimmer who competes in what's aquathon? Very new to Zwift racing, very quickly turning to the dark side, loving every minute. What do you know what an aquathon is? It's gotta be,
an aquathon. It's just a swim run.
It's just a swim run. Okay.
So no bike.
Instead of a duathlon.
Yeah, so instead of a triathlon or duathlon, you skip the bike and just do the swim and the run.
Weirdos.
Us multi-sporters. We make all different. There's aqua bikes.
Why would you ever skip the bike? Like, that's the best part. It's like, why did you take the frosting off the cake? You're just like, it's not even sugar. You're just like, let's just put in the wheat and the butter. Like, it's like, okay, it'd be okay. I guess butter on toast is okay, but no, like, that's just not okay, people. Anyway, jumping over to the Viennas here. We'll take a look at
Oh,
the
Crush
results.
Pod.
Crush Pod are out here killing it. We only covered the lattes today. We can really waffle on, Anna. I mean, we're all over the place.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Chat's probably like, what are you people doing? Are we even covering the team time trial anymore?
Oh, I love this team though, the Crush Pods. I don't know if I race against any of these ladies, but a few of them are in the USA East division, and I always look at their name and think, oh, that's such a great name, Crush Pod. But yeah, this is a cool team. They're looking nice as well. A little bit bunched up there for a flat part of the course. They're on this sort of the very wandering flats parts, very not much undulation on this bit, but they got one rider kind of heading off the front. She's got a good bike setup as well, so she's really drilling it. It looks like Curly there from Crush Pod, who was taking the lead. And the rest sort of tucking in behind. They're looking a bit better now, setting up the 2% grade, so a few will come to the front. But yeah, this is a good team on Zwift. I don't actually know a whole lot about Crush Pod and where they came from. So if anyone's watching and they know, let us know, because I've only noticed them in the last sort of maybe 6 months coming to the forefront of the racing scene.
So we've featured them in the past on here, and they're a really, really cool team, actually, Crush Pod. We really have enjoyed watching them come up through the ranks, and they've been a really big part of this specific of the TTT, actually. Crush Pod, Carolyn Millins, definitely. Petra Widener, we've got Lynn Mahey, Ali Robson, Curly Wild, as you were saying, the Regina Langhammer, and then it's going to be Sarah's out here as well. I'm going to just real quickly here see if I can bring up some information on them as you were chatting. Crush Pod, they're supported by No Gods, No Masters, actually. And that's why you
cool
can see
kit.
the kit. Yeah, the kit that's in game here for sure. As you see this sound right there. Yeah. And then,
love it.
Just a pod of women crushing it on bikes. Crush Pod's women's cycling e-racing squad. Members come from around the globe and ranging in age from their 20s to their 60s, brought together in the virtual world of Zwift by a collective love of cycling, chocolate, and cocktails specifically. It sounds like they have their own rave parties after the cycling is done. Crush Pod is hatched by our founding members who met during a Zwift No Guys No Masters Women Crush Wednesday rides, inclusive supported group ride run by our good friends at No Gods, No Masters. We love their ethos so much, we wanted to extend it into the world of racing. Race on the Thursdays, obviously here with the TTT and the Frappe and Latte classes, the Zwift Racing League and other women's series, including Herd Series and the Warrior Games Iceni Women's Series. So you can actually, there's more information over on Zwift Power if you click on through for their team. Find them on Instagram, their Facebook group, as well as send them an email if you want to jump into the team. Anna, you really kicked off the promotion of Crush Pod there.
I know, yeah, go Crush Pod. I love that kit for one. I think that's maybe why I notice them so much, and just the name. And then they're just great racers. Like, they just seem super supportive. You can always tell a good team by the chat and the pen before a race starts. You know, if they're sort of wishing everyone good luck and let's have a great race, and that's where you can tell a good team, and they've always seemed that way. So yeah, I like this crew. I just got a comment that has come through on Facebook Live from Pete Murray again. Triathletes, just pick a sport already. I thought you might like that one, Nathan.
I'm with you, Pete. Just pick one. Let's go. You know, I've actually been talking to and hanging out with more and more triathletes, and I'm like, no, Nathan, you're not going to do this. This isn't happening. And it's kind of like this, am I going to jump off the cliff and suddenly you see me running? But I have stories to tell on that, like trying to do this run thing. Oh my gosh. I thought I was training for running. Well, I thought I was I'm doing pretty good. Okay, I'm running high 6 miles, like 6:30 to 6:40s or whatever. And I thought I was going okay. Okay, that's all right. On a 5 to 10 Ks, I'm doing that consistently. And I was, because my grandpa passed away a little while ago, and he was a coach, and he would do this, he coached right down the road at this specific park. And so we did a memorial 5K, on all the family. And of course, all the boys are all right, we're going to compete. We got a little bit serious, right? My cousins and whatever. And so I show up to run especially against my brother. I was thinking, all right, we're going to go for it. And who's going to win here? I can't get beat by my little brother. One of my cousins, second cousins, was a freshman on the cross country team, shows up and takes off like a rabbit. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's this pace? he gets done like it was like low fives, maybe even high four pace
Oh,
5K. I find out he's third runner up, on the freshman high school, and I was like, okay, this is a whole nother world. Like
yeah.
I'm never touching
Yeah.
this, like this is nutty, And then, of course, all the excuses come out about how I'm a cyclist and all this stuff. But anyways, that's my running story, and it really was humiliating, and was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever doing this run thing.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. That's why maybe just keep to the cycling.
Oh, see, I just pretty much got told and put in my place that, yep, that's not fast, Nathan. That's not fast at all.
I wasn't
What
going to
is?
say anything. You take that comment where you will.
Oh man. Yeah.
I see just behind Crushpod though is Team Galaxy, who we've been told is a team to watch out for. They're apparently really out for it in the race. They want to have a good one. Looks like they're about 30 seconds back, but this I quite liked the tagline of this team, which was "Welcome to Galaxy, a team formed without egos," which is great. I like that kind of straight up. That's what they're about. They encourage all riders, and they have a no drop policy on group rides. I was going to say, let's keep an eye on that, see if anyone gets dropped. But on group rides, no drop policy. Yeah, so expect something different on their group rides. The ride leader will announce what's on in each ride. And yeah, they encourage a whole lot of messaging and rider interaction. So it seems like quite a cool crew. So they've had a shout out already that the Galaxy Supernova Velocity are ones to watch. That's come through from Cassie Webster, and they're taking the league by storm. So it seems like they are doing pretty well.
No times just yet from this team, but they do seem to be cruising it. They've already closed down almost 30 seconds to Crush Pod, as you can see on the riders nearby on the right-hand side. Always kind of a way, if you are in a team time trial, to tell how you're doing with those that started around you. And since it is seeded in order of the faster teams versus the slower teams, the slowest team from the week prior will be going first versus the team that won will be going last. And so you kind of are around teams that are around your level usually, and it does look like they're chasing Crush Pod down pretty well at this point. But we do see it as 11:47 from the Rockies in this Vienna Latte. Total Tri Ladies there with 11:55. And Adam Racing Team Electrons have a 12:11. At the 8K mark, that's the 3 times that we do have so far. Looks like Galaxy just coming through there at 8K. So in about a minute or two, we should have some of these times coming on through. Did you know, Anna, we are on number 144, and there's a guy named Jeff Inns who has done 222 team time trials.
Whoa. So
Angela
what, riding for
McRae,
multiple teams?
yeah, and Angela McRae has done 200 team time
Oh, I
trials.
want to shout out Angela McRae. She is awesome. We've raced together a couple of times. She is one of the most supportive riders out there. So huge shout out to her. She'll message you, during the race saying great race, and yeah, love Ange McRae. So great to see that she is. That is insane. That is a huge commitment to team time trialing, because that's multiple teams every week.
Yeah, every week, multiple teams, multiple times. I mean, some of these riders do 3 a day. I think, even if as they're just, it's huge commitment, and big shout out to them. They obviously love this format for their training or just for getting into an event and supporting their team. So really cool to see. As we're looking at Galaxy here now, they are going to be chased perhaps by the Renegade team, but I'm not sure the Renegade team showed up on the day, as I'm not seeing anyone behind this team. We'll see if we can find them out there. Perhaps it just has more to do with where we are out on course. As we look around here, we did look at Crush Pod. Let's go ahead and move our way forward, though. Zed Sun now, as you have trained us well, those from the other sections of the world. Zed Sun, as I look at SPI here.
Z son, not Z
Small.
son.
Oh, man. How did you get that one? I'm going to say, now, I'm saying Adidas too. It's actually taken at this point.
Good. Adidas. Yeah, Adidas. I like it. Zedson, they have been, I've raced people from this team for a long time. So this team has been around, and they are a staple in Zwift racing. And like I think it's a controversial kit. I think you either love it or hate it. I kind of like it because from the aerial point of view, you see that big gold kind of dome on the back of their kit. It's very easy to see who they are. I know that there's a Lam Kong. She's not in this TTT, probably because she's a massive sprinter, but she's someone we call out a lot in the community level racing. So she rides for Zetan and has been phenomenal. This crew's looking all right. I've seen a bit of chat come in actually from Aaron Bleakley. He rides for NZ Bro. He raced earlier today, saying that he still thinks the straight line format is the best way to go with the draft 3.0 if you can make it smooth. So they're trying to still, the NZ Bro crew are trying to keep that straight line format. Looks like these guys are kind of getting into it a little bit now, maybe accidentally, but that looks really nice there. That rider, Joanna, just tucks up in and then they'll be in that straight line. So apparently still the fastest. We were talking about that earlier. But very, very hard to execute. But NZ Bro's going for that, which I like to see. We'll see it in the upcoming ZRL team time trials and see what people go with.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. That's the way to go. But if you can't execute it, sometimes it just ends up being a dice roll over and over and over again. So execution will be absolutely key to make that a reality. We're going to jump across actually to our Vienna Espressos. We said Zed's on here using a bunch of these feather power-ups. And that'll be good on them to reserve some energy. And it does sound like that feedback is coming on through that people are enjoying having that there. But a rider who was actually, let's see, this is going to be the Owl team. Absolutely love them. This is going to be the faster after 60 team. I think is what they are at this point. They are all over 60 years old, actually.
I love this. Absolutely love it.
Amazing team.
77. Wow. Wendy, that is phenomenal. This is insane. That is so good. That's like, I told you I ride with my dad every Sunday. He's 71 and he keeps telling me he thinks he's the oldest person on Zwift. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, absolutely not. And this is, wow, huge props to this team. And plus, I love this Neokyo kit. Absolutely love it. I tried to actually get it, our Team Riot, to wear this kit as our new kit, but got outvoted. We stuck with the original, but I absolutely love it. Look how good these ladies are looking. They've all got those matching Neokyo yellow lace-up shoes. Phenomenal. I've just immediately been inspired by this crew of ladies.
They do a great job. Absolutely. They pay attention to every single broadcast. We really, really appreciate them for sure. I wanted to jump across and see if we can find our Vienna Espresso, and we're just having a little trouble. Apologies, guys, getting on over there. As that we do have a pretty hotly contested, though, Vienna Espresso crew out there today. It's a lot of the top teams have shown up, I think, specifically to see if they can throw down in preparation for the team time trials, actually, that will be coming up. Obviously, in the Zwift Racing League, any of the teams that you're a pretty big part of the esports scene, and in the background as well from the racer side. I mean, is there a lot of chatter about like how to get ready and whether or not you're using the team time trial on Thursdays to do so?
I know our teams. Not so much, just because we're in so many different parts of the world that it's really hard to find a time that kind of links everyone together. But like I said earlier, the NZ Bro team definitely use this massively as part of their not only kind of race prep, but also team building, I think. They seem to really have a lot of people come in. They've actually got sort of an under 16 crew also coming in to sort of race each week. So yeah, I'm liking what they're doing. I think it is kind of a strategy to just bring everyone in. But yeah, sometimes every week a little bit tricky. But I do see a lot of the Prem teams come in and try and do this closer to when they're going to be doing that TTT race. So I wouldn't be surprised to see next week a lot of people coming in and just fine-tuning their tactics as they prepare for the Zwift Racing League team time trials.
Jumping around a ton right now. Looks like this today it's just not going to like us when it comes to trying to find the C category out there today. We might have to stick with the rest of the categories, which will be fine. We'll get some times up there though, as we do jump in with the Frappes. As this is going to be the Rave team with the Vienna Frappe. and Electric Spirit Company out here as well. Another Crush Pod team is out there with Spiced Frappe. It looks like. But as we do jump in with Rave on, this is gonna be our reading. Tennille Irish. I mean,
Oh,
she's on
what?
the
How is
same
she
she's
race?
on the same level
Oh,
as you when it comes to Zwift is life. I
no,
think.
she's way. I can race once a week, and that maxes me out. I have seen her in ZRL this week. We saw her yesterday in the
In the
hauling the
chase
troops
race.
around in the
Yeah, in
chase
the chase
race,
race, chatting
like
too.
and like leading the chase race, not just kind of chilling out on the pack, chatting and leading. And now she's here. I mean, what is she made of? Like, this is insane. I just am tired watching her. That's yeah, crazy. Go go try T Irish. Awesome.
Yeah, level 36. How is she only a level 36 with all this Zwifting that's going down, Tennille? What is happening? Holy cow. It must be she adopted, it looks like, the racing scene though, and Zwifting here.
Yeah, but she
9/13 of
what?
21. So this is from September till now. Uh pretty quickly jumping into level 36. Those numbers don't come easily. So good on her. There's only 2 pages of results actually here. So for how much she's racing, obviously it's been a lot here in recent days. So good on Tennille
Oh,
as she's riding obviously for Team Rave, as this is going to be Holt, Lorilla, Weedy, Dudas, Power is there as well, as they're trying to chase down Crush Pod and being chased by Crush Pod, as I believe they are kind of sandwiched between 2 Crush Pod teams here.
yeah, actually, Wheaty is familiar to me. I don't know if I've raced with her or I've commentated on her, but she comes to the forefront of my mind, so it makes me think she's a pretty decent racer and knows what she's doing. This team is I like Rave On. I'm actually doing one of those recon rides with them in a couple of weeks for the team time trial course. So that'll be a bit of fun. I know you went on one of them, and
It
were
was a
you
blast.
able?
It was
Were you
great
able to stay
actually.
to the 1.5 watt per kg? That was the
Oh, it
question.
was all over the board. Like it was good. But they did stay with the beacon. Those who wanted to. It wasn't that big of a deal in that respect. There were a lot of people in the Discord though, and there was a lot of questions. It was kind of Q&A
Mm.
a little bit more,
Hmm.
and then some chatter about what to do on the course. So, and a little bit of history as well as a little bit of a chat about what a great job Rave has done on the women's side of things in that whole scene. So that was really great to do. Rave Recons, everybody, on Sundays before the ZRL. Make sure to go check those out on Sundays for the rest of the season. They're putting those on. Anna, and you're doing a couple of weeks from now the TTT Recon. That'll be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I picked that one. Because it looked like it was quite flat and it was quite short. It's quite early in the morning for me. So I was like, I probably need one where I don't have to focus too much on the terrain and more about what I like, which is kind of the mathematics of Zwift racing and the sort of tactics around team time trials. So yeah, that one will be fun actually. And I've had, it's actually a rider who's been helping with my sprint. I was having a chat to Katie about her the other day. She's actually an Olympic medalist and has a lot to do with Team Rave. So Michelle Ferris, bit of a shout out to Michelle. She's an Australian, multi-Olympic medalist, so the real deal. Has a lot to do with Team Rave and has been sending me a few tips. So that's really nice. They're a very encompassing and friendly team. I like them a lot.
B2B, always great to see them out on course. They're currently sitting in with a 2030 in fourth place at the 14-kilometer mark. This is pretty close racing here. Kirchner Vienna Frappe with a 2014, only 6 seconds ahead of Crushed Pod Spiced Frappe. 2020. WTRL What's Up on Fire at a 2028. And this team right here in fourth place, but it's only going to be 16 seconds. And there's a little bit of landscape to work with here still. I think they've got about 6, 8. What is that going to be? 7K-ish, a little over 7K to go. So I think they can make up some time as they come through that 20-kilometer mark. We'll get some ideas there. Sox Rots, Odd Socks, and Sox Roll, where are they at? Looks like Rave On, they're tied now at the 14K. We were just watching them with Kirchner Vienna Frappe. And Rave On, were they the fastest? No, Sox Rots, Odd Socks almost always win out. And they do have a 10:59
Yeah.
at the 8-kilometer mark, actually.
I'm just looking at the Socks for What's team. Actually, one of the girls I used to race with on Team Fearless a while back called Claire Good. And I know that she, from her Instagram, I think she does a lot of sort of outdoor crazy rides around the UK. From what I remember, I think she might have been doing some Everesting last season, if I can remember that correctly. So, yeah, I'm sure that Sox Watts team will be absolutely crushing some of these times that we're seeing, because I know the riders on there are very, very strong. So, yeah, Claire Good there. Welsh flag, I do believe. So, yeah, shout out to her. But Carly here
They're
from
out on
Crush
course
Pod,
right now.
a
Is that
couple of,
right?
she's
Claire's actually
supposed
out
to
on
be, yeah.
course.
So, yeah.
Okay, we'll see if we can find. We'll see if we can find her out on course. Taking away, and we just don't like him. Ellie Gardner is here though.
Oof. Nice. Prem Division rider. That's great.
Somehow, okay, I clicked on Claire Good. Like I was clicking on Coralie Arthur for like ever, and it kept on putting me on the Owl team. I click on Claire Good, and Eileen Gardner comes up. So, well, it worked out. Here we
Well,
go.
there we go. Fantastic. Oh, got Catherine Curie out there. Bit of a shout out to one of my teammates, Meredith Kessler as well. I have not seen her out for a while. That's the Sisu team. But looking at Illy Gardner, wow, this team looks awesome. And she's you can see there with the little orange pro jersey next to her name, legit professional rider. And this team is humming along at 45k an hour. Great to see.
What's that pickup there? Because that jersey was not always there. I believe
This looks like Wahoo Lacole.
It is Wahoo Lacole in game, but did she get picked up by a UCI team that I'm unaware of, Ellie Gardner? Because that pro kit I don't believe was always there. So cool to see. I'm going to see if I can figure out some information here. Martin might be able to help us out. As
Let's have a look.
Gardner, Wahoo Lacole, and we'll see if she updated her
She apparently currently rides for the UCI Women's Continental Team Cams Basso, if that's up to date. So
that just got updated in game. We'll see if anybody can help us out in chat. We'd really appreciate it. This team, though, is so stacked, and I think they are practicing for Premier Division, because this is all their Premier Division riders. We saw Lizzie, Brooke dominating a lot of the sprints this past week, having some amazing results. Arthur, I was really excited to see how she was going to come back after having COVID, actually, and had a technical difficulty with the Wi-Fi dropout, it sounds like, going through. And they dominated, and Coralie is one of their best sprinters and wasn't even involved. So this team, when it comes to Premier Division and the sprinting courses, definitely one to watch out for. This team time trial is going to say a lot, I think, whether or not they've got this part of the discipline down, though.
yeah, I think it will. I was just having a look at some of the chat there. There's a lot of chat coming through about some of the women we were covering earlier. Haven't seen anything on Illy Gardner's professional team, so it might be that Basso team. But if anyone does know, that would be great to see. A lot of chat about best formations here as well. And I think you're right. We've got a lot of some of the Prem Division riders out here just practicing. They've got a good, they'll have some good leaders here. They'll just be able to kind of tell them what formations are going to work, how they should be doing this in Prem, although it is so different having 8 riders versus 5. Just, I would almost say absolutely different. As I hit this, this is the one kind of climb on course. It's just where you've gone past the start finish and then you head up. It's quite a long drag, to be honest. You can see it goes up there, pitches up to around 8%. That rider looks so much like my own avatar. It's really confusing me when I'm looking at her. The one on the pink Tron literally looks the exact same as mine. It's quite scary to see, Nathan.
Wait, hold on. Which one are we talking about here? We're talking about
yeah, that rider. Yeah. Wait, has she got
she's
got glasses on.
Glasses
okay.
on. A little bit different. I think she's got a little more style, no offense.
What? Oh, there's no socks there. There's no socks on that rider.
No
so
socks and shades. This is it. Good job, O'Neill. Let's go.
Oh, Neil. No.
I'm loving it. As Anna needed all of the feedback she could get. Headband, I don't even know what we were watching. We were like, wait a second, aren't you the fashion police? I gave it a 7.
Yeah, 7. Oh, and look at her going to the front. It's the speed of the headband. She's like, you go. Heather, because you're looking great and leading this team up the last parts of this climb. This would hurt. These riders will be going so hard, and then it just, like we said, it's mostly flat, but that last climb, it's still going up. It lasts a long time and pitches up like we saw to kind of that 8%. This is going to burn through the legs. I mean, if you're thinking about power-ups, if we do have those in the TTTs going forward, you just save feathers like crazy for that part of the course, because it's just where people just start to hurt, and it's the most time you can gain in a TTT is where others are hurting. If you've kind of paced it right and you haven't gone too hard at the start, you just eat into those times in the last part of the race. So it's really hard to do because you start off so eager, but yeah, this is the time you can make it up.
Looking through here as they are looking to make up a lot of time, it looks like pushing at the front. Eileen Gardner continues to be, she is an amazing climber actually, and that's kind of her forte. Heads to the front at 6 watts per kilogram. Everybody else kind of, I think, just trying to hang on to her wheel. Helen O'Neill is actually a level 24 Zwifter. I think she's a more recent pickup she's just really committed to esports racing. She shows up for esports racing, but not a whole lot of anything else. Back all the way in January 26th of 2021, she obviously started in with the Zwift Racing Leagues, raced the Zwift Racing League, it looks like, for about 5 or 6 races, and then also did the Zwift Racing League starting this past year in September as well, and now is jumping on in. She did the playoffs, too, it looks like, for the points race and the team time trial. So, but it is just in this last year. Doesn't, though, race much otherwise. Interesting enough. It looks like it's mainly just ZRL and a little bit of team time trials here with WTRL.
And she must be a runner on Zwift as well, because that's the only way you can get the headband, is if you unlock it as a runner. So obviously has gotten on and done something on the treadmill, so good to see. They're just picking up one of the...
I'm going to put the headband on now. I did a little bit of running.
Did you? Wow.
I did. I don't know.
Surprises me.
I think I opened Zwift on my phone and ran while I was running or something like that. Was I don't know, with a pod. I had a pod. I put it on my foot. It did things.
Oh no. Looks like they've just gone past one of the Sisu I Race Like a Girl riders. That Sisu team's about 22-3 seconds up the road. They've got another rider who's just dropped off the pace too, Bulmer there. So they're 16 seconds up. They might be too far at the end of the race. So maybe too far to get that rider. But yeah, they've cut into a lot of time of that Sisu team. Absolutely. And they've had some real hitters on there too. I used to race triathlon with Meredith Kessler, actually, who I just saw pop up on that Sisu team. And Catherine Curie, I mean, we all know her. She is an absolute engine on these types of courses. So, yeah, this Wahoo team's, they're humming along pretty well.
Well, they're stacked. I mean, this is Joe Blackburn as well. She's 6th at the RTTC National Hill Climb 2021 and 2nd at the National Circuit, RTTC National Circuit Championships Road Bike Time Trial of 2021. So, I mean, Wahoo Lacole, obviously, we're doing a lot of recruiting and drafting of new riders. We got El Cassie here as well. This is going to be Lindsay Cassie, level 29 Zwifter. You know, and the thing is that these riders, I'm looking at their history here, and this is full-on esports recruitment. They definitely, some of them are a little bit more experienced. I mean, if we do look over at, Laura Simonek here out of, I believe, is that going to be Sylvania? Yep. Level 38 Zwifter, a lot more racing experience, but they also kind of stacked around these experienced riders like Lizzie Brooke, and Simonek, and then kind of stacked it around Illy Gardner as well, and then brought in all this really amazing talent from in real life. And I think that's a great synergy that they have. They also, I think, are practicing right now, as I did see, I believe, their DS in the pens, which tells me this is full-on practice for ZRL.
Because this was the question I had is, I mean, it's my first time commentating this WTRL TTT. I mean, are all these teams DSing like you would in the Zwift Race League? Would they have DSs for these guys, or are they they've done it? I mean, looking at Catherine Curie here, I mean, this is her 73rd team time trial. You've got Nussbaumer 70th. You've got Kessler 62nd. I mean, do these guys need a DS? I mean, they must have it down pat now.
I think, I mean, I've done TTTs a lot with, one team that we show up with the same guys every week, and having the DS still makes a huge difference because so much happens throughout the race that's really dynamic. It isn't just really straightforward. It's like having an equation that changes over and over again, and then suddenly,
Mm,
like, you can throw an extra variable in there that wasn't expected, 10 to 15 times throughout the race. So I think having the DS there to be able to kind of mess with the equation and tell you what to do at any moment is super important. It isn't as straightforward as
yeah.
just like do the order of operations, right? So it looks
And
like
I think
CCR
when you're
race is going.
looking, yeah, I think what I've found is when your heart rate is so high, your ability to make good decisions is severely impacted. And I think that's where the DS comes in here too. So, yeah, someone might drop a little bit on a climb. And if you're in the mix of your heart rate so high, as we're seeing these guys, I think, come around to the finish there. Yeah, you can't make a decision about what to do. And that split second of decision making can really slow you down. So, yeah, you're right. Probably a DS just to, when things go a little bit off track is probably a good idea for these highly experienced crews.
Especially if they're training specifically for how they're going to perform, at the highest level. And I mean, Priority T, this is another team that is obviously
Mm.
Premier Division, and so they're out here, I think, also trying to make something happen when it comes to see how they can time trial together. Wahoo Cole women, it looks like walking away with this one today, 26-34. They almost caught Seesaw Race Like a Girl by the end of this. Seesaw Race Like a Girl with a 27-57. They were battling out with the Wahoo Cole Etoiles. We'll see if they were able to catch them or not. Priority T, a little ways back, BBB actually tied with them so far
Ah.
at that 20K mark. So these last seconds as they push the line definitely going to matter as this PD team makes their way across for their total of 25K today. Let's see if we can jump back across to a few of the other teams that are still out on course as we do jump back in with the Renegades, it looks like here. In with, and this is going to be our straight up our Vienna
Oh,
crew, our Vienna crew.
that looks like struggle street. I've got to say they're on that really long drag up to the sort of castle area. Like we said, it's a flat course, but this is the one climb on it. So it's actually usually a finish line going the other way. So you kind of have a big downhill to the line. We saw some epic sprints there last season, I remember, but yeah, going up it, it's such a drag. I mean, 5%. I mean, they've been going for quite a while. You can just see, you can almost feel the suffering watching this team, don't you think?
I have to agree with you. You can like almost see it coming off of the riders here at this point as Renegade E make their way around the course. Looking backwards, or actually, let's go ahead and move forward here. Back in with the Owls, as we were talking about them, they've held on solidly to a fifth place. It looks like overall. Evo Meters there with the 32.52. ZR Scott Arya there, currently at 32-21. There's a battle between those three teams. A lot can change over the next couple of Ks here as they do make their way through these last three.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
they
So
just
I
got caught. Did they
know
just get caught by this HTC team though? Go ahead, Anna.
I've got to say the Owls. So New Zealand's a small place, right? And I saw Pam Owl.
Yeah,
I
here,
think
right
I
here.
know her. Yeah. And I do know her. Yeah. So that is everyone in New Zealand tends to know each other. So Pam Morris, great to see you out there. This is awesome. She is a triathlete, if I have got the correct person, which I think I do. Also, just a shout out, an FTP of 181 at 63 years old. I mean, whoa. This is,
She's
I
still
mean,
got this
I want to
super
grow
serious
up.
picture up on
Oh,
Zwift Power wow as
I
well
know.
still.
So serious. I want to be like this lady when I grow up. These guys, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you've commented on them before, but wow. I
It's a
mean,
little
how
different
impressive
hearing it
is
from your
this?
perspective though, Anna. It is a little bit different hearing it
Yeah.
from your perspective. So love to
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
mean, it's yeah, these guys you kind of just getting on here at 63 where there's so many things that could just stop you getting onto a technological platform. You could just be like, oh, why? I like riding outside, I've done it my whole life. It's starting something new, getting into it. I mean, I know from my dad's perspective, he just loves it. Again, it's a convenience, but this community, these guys, like, they're all around the world, a New Zealander, a Canadian, Americans, It's just, yeah, Great British, awesome. This has like made my day seeing these guys out here.
And as they make their way around, they're holding steady here at this fifth place spot. AVC Mount Virgin, though, they have really walked away with it so far at a 30-25. WTRL What's Rising just finished, and that's the reason why they went to the top there, but it's still AVC Mount Virgin as they are a little ways ahead. This is going to be the team that's currently holding the fastest time. They're about to cross the line here in just a moment, up and out of the saddle. Won the last kick here coming from Caroline. Andrea Vogel's there as well. 7 watts per kilogram carrying the team, it looks like. They're going to get 4 across the line. A few did fall off, but that's okay. Dana and Seifried did their job as these 4 make their time now as the Owls are chasing them down. HTC coming through as well. The Renegades you were talking about, and then KC, the Kirchmer Cycling. It doesn't look like they're suffering on that climb to the temple much anymore.
No, that's they're looking a lot better. It was a tough looking climb there for a while, but yeah, the Renegades looking nice. Danish team, if I've got my flags right, looks like it's a entire Danish team, which is quite cool to see. And yeah, coming along good. Looks like just got a couple of K to go. This will be a nice part of the course, I've got to say. You've done the hard sort of long drag climb, and you're sort of rolling a little bit of false flat downhill here, which is always kind of nice on the legs. It makes you think that you're just a lot quicker than you actually are. And good finish to this race, I think. I think there'll be tired legs after the climb, but they're looking pretty good here.
Aaron Bleakley coming in and saying that he DS'd for the 22 Doppio wins. Not easy, though. He's letting us know. So is that going to be with NZ Bro, I'm assuming, correct? Bleakley rides for, I believe he rides for NZ Bro.
He does, yes. And he actually is a very prominent member of the Zwift PC Facebook page. He's been helping me a little bit with my setups. And yeah, so a bit of a shout out to another Zwift geek out there who loves frame rate discussions and
we have
screen
to have a
resolution.
Conversation about what his Zwift room looks like and if he has these rave parties. So.
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he's as cool as I am.
That's a great question. Does that climb have a name that goes from it goes from the start pen / finish banner on the traditional Makuri Islands course? Like it's kind of the finish banner on the course, right? And
it's got no name
all the way to the temple, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, into that little sort of village. So it's a no-name climb. It's just one of those fun bonus ones that you have to do.
You need to give it a
great in the reverse though, because it leads into a huge downhill sprint finish. But yeah, I don't know what you'd call it. People give us some names. What can we call that climb? It's a bit of a
pretty quick to just give it, but I haven't ridden it enough to give it a name. It looks like so. Tim Fulford, I appreciate you giving me the feedback there on Illy being UCI for a while. I'm not sure that kit was actually next to her name, though. But maybe it was, Tim. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tim, good to see you hanging out in chat. One of the admins over, I believe, over at WLC. Always in there to cheer on his team and give them some extra support. To answer a question about ultra marathoners from RJ Cohen, letting us know from earlier. It's not the ultras so much as the trails, which undulate up and down big climbs.
Yeah. So I guess you get a bit of power on the legs just from that strength work of the up and down, and then the trails, they use more lateral muscles. So I think that's a good point. I think if you were doing maybe ultras on the road, not so much, because that's just basically a whole supper fest. They're probably good at 100K kiss races maybe, but yeah, not so the 30-minute full power Zwift kind of league racing style.
Looks like everybody's coming across the lines now. We're starting to lose our avatars. That's going to be the final for the Viennas here. Let's go ahead. Anna, good racing. It's been a lot of fun. TTTs open up a little bit more discussion to be had. Tim's letting us know it should be called the Dragon Claw climb. I'm liking Dragon Claw. Godzilla Paul climb. Keep it coming, guy. This is great. Now, this is where we collect these, and then we actually have a voting system somehow.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to get the most vote, interaction as we can on this. And then what would be really great is if it actually ended up if a sign got put in game somewhere or something that actually said
that'd be so
that
good.
this was what that climb is. The community voted
Yeah,
on.
I'm going with Dragon Claw climb because he's right.
Dragon
There's
Claw. Is there a Dragon
there's
Claw
a claw.
somewhere?
Yeah, kind of near the top. There's this big claw thing. So he's got it right. That's why
There
I love
we go. There we go. Something along the claw. Now we're in Inspector Gadget land here now.
Yeah,
you know it?
I like it.
You know Inspector Gadget? Are you like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay,
and he's like got the feet
I'm just
that
making
jump up on the spring.
Well, your eyes were like, what are you talking about?
I was kind of trying to find the tie between Inspector Gadget.
Really out there now.
Yeah.
The claw, Inspector Who. What are we even talking about here? Let's go ahead and take a look at the results. We'll start with the Dopios on the men's side of things. Anna, it looks like Wahoo Cole also here are in domination mode in the Dopios. We didn't actually get over to anything but the lattes and the men, so we kind of missed this, but a 35 out of Platinum League.
Yeah. That is extremely quick, and they only had 6 riders as well, so that's looking really good. Evo Warriors, 13 seconds back. They had the full suite of riders. Cryogen Gulls, 33 seconds back, and a very, very close race between them and the Kirchma e-racing team. Restart, very close as well to those, and then a bit further back to the VCRT Doggos. Coalition is 7th, Z Sana Pulses in 8th, and Cycling Power Race Team in 9th.
And on over to the Espresso, where Smurfs Frey Espresso, they've been having some really good weeks as of recently, up toward the top, 32-24. They like the flatter with the climb at the end there. Adam Racing Team Photons come in for 2nd place with the 32-37. Jet Racing Team Dynamos with the 32-42, having some good legs. Yeah, I think believe a lot of those riders do race in the Switch Racing League community, so good on them for having good legs after winning a ton of sprints actually on the Classic this past week. SWM there in for 4th, only 5 seconds back from 3rd place there. TSC Waffles there in 5th. It's going to be Eat Dirt in 6th. And then it's going to be Evo Gladiators coming through for 7th. Down and Dirty Vipers in 8th place. Innovation Alien Express in 9th. And ZTPL ERT with a 33.06 rounding out your top 10 currently as we stand after Platinum League. And I think Zone 8 and 9 just finishing.
Looking now at the Frappe, we have the Dirt Time Chaser Zetas, taking that on 33.41. Schmurz Frey Frappe. Second, Dirty Rascals Raptors in 3rd. Coalition, they've got a lot of teams out there at the moment. Coalition, Hyperion, they're in 4th. Atom Racing Team Tomic in 5th. Valhalla Leg Biter. Love it. And 6th, Eat Dirt 007 in 7th, Garage Pain Chasers in 8th, ZR Scott Wolvers, that's a tongue tire, in 9th, and Ingrade in 10th.
On over to the Lattes, Viking Valhalla doing what they do. It's going to be a 34-47. They were able to take down the Woolly Rhinos. That's a weekly battle that goes down in PL here. Down and Dirty Phantoms, though, our featured team made it into the Platinum League, and they take a podium spot after the first zones of the day get by into the afternoon here. Now 4th place goes to TFC Lancaster, 111 back. It's going to be Alpenstrauder in for the Latte 1 in 5th place. I was actually given a little bit of a lesson. I think it's they kind of mosey over mountains. They're like, I thought it was going to be like this like mountain trekker, but it actually means, Alpenstraudler actually means like slow going through the mountains or something along those lines, or like kind of waddling through the mountains. In 6th place there, WLBB Latte 3, followed up by Cycling Power Kamikaze Team in 7th there. It's going to be Eat Dirt 2 and 8th. Vikings, this one.
That's Icelandic word.
Rijafliki?
I'm not even going to try.
Come on. What's your go?
It's way too many consonants. Okay. Riglaflicki.
Not bad. I think it was pretty. I think a couple of the consonants are a little shorter, but that was pretty dang good. That was
there we go. I know my Icelandic. What can I say?
I should. I was there, and I listened to a ton of Sigur Rós lately, and I sing things I don't even know what are happening in it. But in 10th place, Dirty Rascals Fire for the Lattes. On over to the Mochas.
TFC Hurricane taking that one out in 39.18. The TSZ's Mocha Cakes in second. Ara Sumatran Rhinos in third. Atom Racing Team Krypton in fourth. WYP2 in fifth. EQ Green in sixth. Army Cycling E in seventh. TT1 Gluconauts in eighth. Ninth, Evo Fusion Lightning. And 10th, Eat Dirt Twa.
And for the Vienna Espresso, it was Wahoo Lacole Women's walking away with this one with a 30-minute 40.
Whoa!
Watch out, Premier Division. This team is the real deal. I mean, we had a lot of questions in World of Zwift about who can take down Heino. Well, this is obviously this is the cream of the crop at this point. We'll see what happens this next week here. Wahoo Lacole told us they're 140 back. It's going to be right to the line. 1 second difference. Cicero Racing Girl just getting nipped, it looks like there. Toyota Cryo DT Women coming on through. Only 6 seconds back. Fourth place, BBB there. Only 3 seconds back in fifth. It's very close with that second through fifth place. Crush Pod a little ways back there with the 255 back there at 36.55. Electric Spirit got COB's knees in seventh. 301 back for the win. And TSC Cinnamon Rolls. That's your Vienna Espresso rounded out the top 8.
And looking here, we've got Socks for Watts Odd Socks in first, and another Socks for Watts team, Sock and Roll, in second, 32 seconds back. A bit further back was our Rave-On team that we were raving about, actually, that whole race. WTRL What's Up on Fire. They're in fourth. Kirchma Vienna Frappe in fifth. Watt Fabric 0.02 in sixth. Crush Pod Spiced Frappe. Gotta love a spiced coffee, controversially. Some like them, some don't. I quite like spiced coffee. They're in seventh. Cycling Power Women in eighth. Cryogen Blue Jays in ninth. And B2B in 10th.
On over to our Vienna Lattes, Galaxy Supernova that we were highlighting earlier. Nice on them. Good to see them in chat as well with some support there. 37.55. Evo Comets come on through with 38.21 in second place. Zed Sun Pluto in third for 38.22 for their time. VR Vienna, unfamiliar with this team. Welcome as they get a top 4 here coming out of zone 6. Crush Pod 2 there in with the 30.09.04 in 5th. Hertford Triathlon Club in 6th. Total Tri Ladies 2 in 7th. Rave Against the Machine partying with almost a tie with the Total Tri Ladies in 8th. It's going to be the Rockies in for 9th with the 40.04. And Vegan Mint out of zone 6 in 10th place.
And we've also got here AVC Mount Virgin in first, Kirchma Team Bs in second, the WTRL Watts Rising in third, Zedsan R Quasar in fourth, TFC Storm in fifth, Crush Pod Cortado in sixth. Oh, okay. RC Phil Rebulunas. Seventh. I feel like that should be easier. Rebulunas. Eighth, ZR Scott Aria. Aria, great name. It's the name of my daughter. Ninth, Owl Bikes. Gonna say it again. My favorite team out there on Zwift. 10th, the Kirchma Crazy Bees.
Nice. And I'd have to agree with you. Pretty awesome. The Owls. Next week, number 145. We're on Watopia's Waistband. Gonna be another flatter course. 27.8 kilometers, 17.3 miles. Make sure to register before 7 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Central Time. USA on Wednesday, or you're not getting into the team time trial. Anna, thanks a lot for jumping in with us for this number 144. I think we held you a little bit longer than we said we would, but I appreciate you hanging out, and we had a ton of fun.
Right on time.
I mean, that was a ton of fun, though. Like, so much waffling on, as you guys would say, but I think the chat enjoyed it. Chat, vote. Did you enjoy the commentary today? Because I don't know how much racing we actually talked about that was in front of us, but we definitely had fun with it and highlighted a lot of teams and had a lot of Zwiftcraft talk. I think we need to just have like a whiteboard meme for whenever Anna and Nathan hang out, because we nerd out like a lot on Zwift racing.
I love the nerding out, and I think it helps people when they're coming into their next races to just hear a little bit about the ins and outs of. I mean, you've been racing on here since the beginning of time. I'm a newer racer, but yeah, it's been great. This has been fun. I've got to have a long little chat with you, Nathan. I like it.
It's almost podcast style. It's good stuff. All right, everybody, do the things. Subscribe, follow, comment, like. It helps the channel. We really appreciate it. We recently ticked over 11K over on YouTube. That has been the focus to grow. But if you like watching other platforms, Twitch, Facebook, as well as Twitter, obviously we're on all of those places as well. We really appreciate it. We will be back next week, Tuesday, with a full day of ZRL racing, as well as broadcasting, obviously. Anna will be hammering away with the APAC with Katie, and then it'll be me and Dave next week throughout the rest of the day. And then Katie and Dave, obviously, later in the evening. So lots of ZRL next week. Chase Racing next week. Another TTT next week. We'll see y'all then. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. For all the results for the TTT, head on over to WTRL.racing. And as always, right on.